All right, let's talk about GPT-5. This isn't just another update. People are describing it as a huge turning point. And what's really catching my eye is that the biggest warnings, they're coming from the very people who built it.
That quote, that's straight from the top from OpenAI's CEO, Sam Altman. And he's not just being dramatic when he brings up the Manhattan Project. That's a very deliberate signal. It frames this whole thing as a massive undertaking with the power to totally reshape our world, and all the promise and the danger that comes with that.
So what is it about this new AI that has its own creator talking about a personal existence crisis? We're going to break down what this new model is, why it's so different, and what its arrival could mean for every single one of us. All right, let's get into it.
Okay, first thing you have to get is that OpenAI isn't just rolling out another version. No, they see this as a foundational, strategic leap forward.
I mean, everything you see, from their internal docs to what they're saying in public, frames GPT-5 as a tool that's meant to totally redraw the map of what AI can do. The goal here? It's to set a brand new bar, one that competitors like Google and Anthropic are going to have to scramble to even reach. So how does it pull off this massive leap? Well, the magic really starts with a completely new architecture. It's been designed from the ground up to work in a way we just haven't seen before. You know how in the past you might have had to switch between different tools for different jobs? Well, that's over. GPT-5 acts more like a single unified AI operating system. It brings together the lightning speed of the simple models with the really deep thinking of the complex ones, all under one roof.
But what's really clever is what's happening behind the curtain. There's this dynamic routing system, and it's always learning. It looks at your request and instantly, sends it to the most efficient model for the job. You get exactly the right amount of brainpower you need without wasting any resources.
And what happens when you have this new engine? Well, it unlocks a whole new level of capability. We're not just talking about an AI that's smart anymore. We're talking about something that can perform in a way that honestly feels superhuman, especially in very specific expert fields.
The list of upgrades is pretty long, but these are the real game changers. We're talking about an AI with doctorate-level smarts, the power to spin up a working app from just one sentence, and, this is a big one, a huge drop in the number of times it just makes stuff up.
For starters, its memory is just massive. We're talking a context window of over 256,000 tokens. That's double its predecessor. To put that in perspective, it means it can hold the equivalent of an entire book in its memory during one conversation. That leads to conversations that are so much more coherent and aware of the context. And this number right here, this shows a real shift in focus towards trust. The hallucination rate, when the AI just invents things, has dropped from over 20% in older models to now under 5%. That is a massive step towards an AI that you can actually depend on for factual stuff.
And if you really want to wrap your head around its power, listen to this. Sam Altman showed it building another large language model, which is a ridiculously complex piece of software, in less than 5 minutes. He calls that a superpower, and yeah, it's pretty hard to argue with that.
Okay, but these are some pretty wild claims, right? So let's move past the stories and the demos and look at the cold, hard data from actual benchmark tests.
Altman himself set the bar ridiculously high. He basically said that his last model, GPT-4, will feel like the dumbest model you'll ever use again. That's some serious trash talk. So the big question is, do the numbers actually back up that kind of confidence?
In a word, yes, absolutely. On the SWEEB Edge, which is a major test for software engineering, GPT-5's thinking mode hits almost 75%. That's even better than OpenAI's special O3 reasoning engine. But look at the difference compared to its predecessor, GPT-4o. It's more than double. That's not just an improvement, it's a whole different ballgame. And that trend just keeps going. The jumps in its ability to code for things like mobile apps or systems programming are just staggering. We're seeing improvements of over 250%. This just confirms it. We are looking at a completely different class of machine. Think about it from a developer's point of view. This is the difference between an AI that helps you find bugs in your code and an AI partner that can build entire features all by itself. Okay, so what does all this power, all this performance actually mean for you, for the person using it? OpenAI's strategy here is crystal clear. They want it everywhere, and they want it integrated into everything. And this right here, this is the heart of their strategy. For the first time ever, even free users are going to get access to the top-of-the-line model. This is a very intentional move to get this expert-level AI into the hands of millions and millions of people and to do it fast.
And for the developers actually building things with this, the prices have been cut dramatically. The main model is now half the price of the one before it, and the little nano model is just incredibly cheap. This is all designed to do one thing: spark an absolute explosion of new apps and services, all built on GPT-5.
But when you combine this kind of never-before-seen power with this kind of widespread access, well, that leads us straight to the final and, let's be honest, the most complicated question. What is the real-world impact actually going to be? And this impact isn't just some theory for the future. The data we have suggests that over 50,000 tech layoffs in 2025 alone will be directly linked to AI automating tasks, especially at the entry level.
And this really gets to the core conflict of this new age. On one hand, you've got this incredible promise of making everyone more productive. But on the other hand, you have the immediate, very real fact of major job disruption and the urgent need for a totally new kind of workforce.
And as people like Bill Gates are warning, just knowing how to use the tool isn't going to be enough anymore. The new demand is for what he calls supervisor skills, the ability to direct the AI, to check its work, and to manage it, not just do the task yourself. And that brings us right back to where we started, to Sam Altman's fear. You see, he doesn't see this as just launching another product. He calls it an atomic fission moment. He's basically admitting that OpenAI is running a massive, uncontrolled experiment on the very fabric of our society. The power of this technology is just moving so much faster than our ability to create the rules and safeguards to handle it. The tool is here. It's more powerful than we could have even imagined a year ago, which really just leaves one final question for all of us to answer.